You don't always need a massive army to bring a country to its knees. Sometimes all you need is a ruthless mathematical equation. One that forces your enemy to burn through its wealth, missile by missile, drone by drone, until the numbers become impossible to sustain. That was the gamble in Iran's strategy. Flood the sky with cheap drones, while Saudi Arabia fires millions in Patriot missiles. Every single day until the stockpiles run dry and the treasury cracks. The math was brutal, and from Tehran's perspective, it looked flawless. But here's what they didn't account for. A country that had already lived through this exact nightmare was watching, and it was about to make a move that would change everything. Innovations born from survival were ready to flip the script. I'm breaking down the data behind these events every day. For the full detail, subscribe to World Brief Daily right now and hit the notification bell, because what we're about to cover is one of the most significant strategic shifts the Middle East has seen in decades. Let's set the stage. On February 28, 2026, the US and Israel launched strikes on Iran in Operation Epic Fury. The stated objective was sweeping, targeting military facilities and nuclear infrastructure in a campaign designed to prevent a nuclear-armed Iran. And, in the words of President Trump, achieve regime change from within. Within hours, Iran responded with Operation True Promise 4. Missiles and drones rained down across the GCC states and Israel. For the first time in history, every GCC country was struck simultaneously. As researcher Cam Chenis noted, their long-standing nightmare scenario has happened. The scale of this conflict is staggering. Stay tuned to the updates for more on this geopolitical crisis. Approximately 3,800 drones and 2,100 missiles targeted the Gulf. The United Arab Emirates bore the sharpest brunt. By late March 2026, Emirati defenses had intercepted over 400 ballistic missiles and 1,700 drones, figures confirmed by the Ministry of Defense. 11 people were killed, including military personnel, as airports and iconic landmarks were threatened. A direct hit set the Ruwash refinery ablaze, shutting down a facility with a 922,000-barrel daily capacity. Saudi Arabia's Ras Tanur terminal and Abqaiq processing center were also struck multiple times. This was economic warfare. With Patriot interceptors costing up to $6 million each, the math of asymmetric attrition was working in Iran's favor. The Shahed drone cost just $20,000. Yet, for every drone intercepted, Saudi Arabia spends 100 times that amount. In the first 4 days of the conflict alone, Iran launched over 2,000 drones and 500 ballistic missiles at Gulf targets. While Washington approved a $9 billion Patriot sale, deliveries take months, and the drone tempo is only increasing. This was not a sustainable equation. Riyadh needed a partner who had already solved this in blood and steel. The answer was Ukraine, a nation forged by years of relentless innovation against the very same threats. In March 2026, President Zelensky made a surprise visit to Jeddah to meet with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. What emerged from those closed-door sessions fundamentally rewrote the strategic map of the Middle East. A new era of defense cooperation has begun, bridging the gap between the Black Sea and the Persian Gulf. Ukraine and Saudi Arabia have signed a formal defense cooperation agreement, marking a seismic strategic pivot. This document lays the foundation for future contracts, technological cooperation, and strategic investment. Speaking after meeting the Crown Prince, President Zelensky emphasized sharing battle-tested expertise to protect lives. Ukraine is currently resisting the same missile and drone threats that are increasingly facing the Gulf region. At the Helsinki summit, Zelensky noted that this partnership impacts global energy security and the cost of living. This matters because stability in Europe depends on secure energy resources and international cooperation. Beyond hardware, Ukraine brings a unique doctrine: defeating drone swarms at scale for a fraction of traditional costs. This partnership is more than just defense. It represents a living, battle-tested evolution in global security. Ukraine has intercepted over 58,000 Shahed drones since 2022. Through this 4-year gauntlet, Ukrainian engineers and specialists gained unique expertise in defeating these weapons at scale. In a recent attack, Ukraine achieved a 97% interception rate. They're doing this not with expensive missiles, but with their own domestic interceptor drones. These drones, from companies like Wild Hornets and Skyfall, cost as little as $800 to $2,500. This shift to low-cost, effective technology is at the heart of their defense strategy and a major turning point in modern aerial warfare. Ukrainian interceptors destroy enemy drones by collision or proximity detonation, achieving a success rate exceeding 80% in real combat. Facing a swarm of 50 drones like the Iranian Shahed, traditional missile defense systems have become economically unsustainable. Intercepting a swarm with Patriot missiles costs up to $300 million, intercepting them with Ukrainian drones just $125,000. This asymmetric reversal restructures military doctrine. It is a cheap answer to a cheap threat that Iran simply cannot match. With production scaled to 1,000 units per day, Ukraine is redefining global security and the future of military supply. The initial discussion involved deliveries of up to 10,000 interceptors to Saudi Arabia. But this deal was never just about hardware. The plan includes the full system plus expertise, artificial intelligence, and the sharing of critical data analysis. A much deeper transfer of technology and institutional knowledge was being negotiated between the two nations. 228 Ukrainian military specialists have already been deployed across 5 Gulf states before the agreement was even signed. These experts are on the ground in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan, with numbers set to increase. They are teaching Saudi operators how to conduct electronic warfare against drone swarms and how to jam hostile GPS signals. They are also positioning mobile fire teams for maximum coverage, marking a significant shift in regional defense strategy. They are integrating AI-based data analysis systems directly into Saudi Arabia's existing early warning radar networks, essentially building a seamless digital nervous system that can track, classify, and respond to incoming threats faster than any human operator working alone. As Euronews reported, Zelensky himself met with Ukrainian anti-drone experts deployed in Saudi Arabia during his visit. Even in such a short time, Ukrainian experts were able to share extensive expertise. Ukraine's 4 years of the world's most intensive drone warfare experience was being injected directly into the Gulf's defense infrastructure. The significance of the Ukraine-Saudi pact goes far beyond the Gulf. It signals something larger. Ukraine is no longer simply a country fighting for its survival. It has become, in the words of the Defense Cooperation Agreement itself, a security donor, a strategic exporter, a power reshaping the global arms landscape. Because we're only halfway through this story, and the second half is more consequential than the first. Consider the broader picture. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, Russia's share of global arms exports had collapsed to just 6.8% by 2025, down from 21% during the 2016 to 2020 period. That is a catastrophic decline for a country that for decades positioned arms exports as both a revenue stream and a geopolitical tool. Ukraine is filling that vacuum with technologies that were forged ironically against Putin's own ally, Iran, whose shade drones Russia weaponized against Ukrainian cities. As reported by the KV Independent, Ukraine's foreign minister Andrei Cha told Reuters that similar defense agreements were close to finalization with Qatar and the UAE, while discussions were also underway with Kuwait, Jordan, and Oman. Zelensky later confirmed Ukraine had sealed a 10-year defense partnership with Qatar that includes joint weapons production. A deal with the UAE was described as expected within days. 11 countries in total had reportedly requested drone defense support from Ukraine. According to the BBC, the estimated contract value of the Saudi deal alone starts in the hundreds of millions of dollars, with some analysts projecting the full package, including technology transfer, joint production, and advisory services could reach $1 to $2 billion. Ukraine is seeking PAC-2 and PAC-3 Patriot missiles to counter Russia's ballistic campaigns alongside direct Saudi investment in its defense industry. This shifting partnership is profound. Russia's influence in the Gulf, built on arms and energy, is at a historic low. Ukraine is filling the void not through ideology, but through persuasive, battle-tested technology the Gulf needs to survive right now. But even as tech was being delivered, Saudi Arabia made a masterstroke. Iran's real nuclear option wasn't drone swarms. It was the Strait of Hormuz. Let's be precise, it is 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. But navigable shipping lanes are far tighter, just 2 miles each with a buffer. The usable channel is only about 6 miles across. The global economy relies on that tiny sliver of water, and right now, the control of that sliver is more contested than ever.